Hello everyone and welcome to the Life of Deli or Deli's channel, and today I will be discussing about my Crohn's history. So let's begin. Ever since I can remember, I've always had issues with my stomach. I always had stomach problems as a baby. Even when I was little, I had to get a certain type of what is it called? Certain type of milk. I couldn't have regular milk. Certain type of formula. I think it was something else I had to drink, and I had to sit up while I was sleeping, and then I had to drink like this pink medicine and stuff like that. And when I was little, I got diagnosed with acid reflux because we kept going to different doctors. They said it was a virus, but around the age I was like a toddler to when I got into elementary school, they found out that I had acid reflux. So yeah. So after that, fast forward. But at that time, all I was eating was like nothing but junk food and McDonald's because I was a very spoiled kid, and that's all I really ate. And so I had a poor diet, and I was always chubby. I always had weight on me. But I remember one time when I was about in like the second grade. I was still living in New Orleans at the time. And I remember I had like this bad cramping feeling, and my teacher, it kept going in and out, going in and out. My teacher got aggravated, and she was like, "Is it hurting or not?" But it was actually really hurting. And so, but yeah, it calmed down, and just drank some chicken noodle soup, and you're all right for the rest of the day. So that was good. And so I would have like little episodes here or there throughout my life to where my stomach would hurt. But I remember when I started working at McDonald's around the time. So fast forward to around the time I started working at McDonald's. That's when I used to eat just something McDonald's again, and that's when it started going a little bit downhill, a little bit more as well. So some of the pain would stop in my stomach, and I remember I would get fatigued, and I would get really drowsy, and I didn't feel like talking to anybody sometimes. But yeah, so, and that was during 2014, so it was my junior year, I suppose, in high school. But I mean, it was just little episodes here or there. Then I would get, it would like cramp, I would say probably every 2 weeks or so. I would get like really bad cramps. But I'm thinking it's normal. I mean, I knew something was wrong with me, but I thought I can, just drink some. Because during this time, all I would ever have was Pepto-Bismol. Even when I was little, I would just have Pepto-Bismol. And since I had acid reflux, I would just take Tums because I thought that was a problem. So I would take Zantac as well. Because I remember, I remember one time I went to the movies with my grandmother, and then my stomach was hurting really bad when they had an episode then too. But yeah, I just had like, so I would say from around the time from toddler years, it was probably like every blue moon, and then to around the time I got into middle school, maybe like every like 3 months probably, and then around the time I got into high school and I was started working at McDonald's, it escalated to like almost every month and every other week or so. Then, it kind of escalated a little bit more. And so I kept trying to figure out if it was because of the acid reflux. That's what I kept thinking at this point. So fast forward I got into college, and but mind you, when I was still in high school, my senior year, I was working 2 jobs, and when I would get bad cramps sometimes, like, I would have some bad cramps sometimes when I used to work at Walmart. But I was just still, I'm thinking it's just acid reflux. I could just take some more medicine and I'll be fine. Take some more Pepto-Bismol and I'll be fine the next day, and usually I'll be fine. And so that kind of went into that. After I finished high school, I'm fine and everything. And then when I was still in high school, I started noticing that I used to bleed a little bit, but they found out that was because it was of a hemorrhoid. So yeah, that's normal. So I was thinking something was wrong with me, and I was crying to my mother. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I have HIV. What's wrong with me? She's like, boy, ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't got no HIV. Because I had this long story, right? Because I used to work at McDonald's. So I had this long story that, because we had some nasty people, some little freakadinks that used to come in there. And, after they got done, they used to use the bathroom in there. And I thought that maybe since I cleaned it, maybe I touched somebody's blood or something. They probably, I was eating. I don't know. But that wasn't the case. I was fine. And so, so fast forward to college. I didn't really have any bad episodes in college a little bit. Like I said, they were just like still steady of how I was in high school, where it would be like every other 3 weeks, probably 2 weeks or something. But like I said, it was just cramping, so I thought that, it's just acid reflux, so I just fought it off with some more Zantac. And by the time I got into my 2016, because I got into college when I was fall of 2015. Then 2016 in the springtime, I started to lose a lot of weight. And even my professor, she started to notice. She was worried about me, but I felt fine. And as being an architecture student, I thought it was because I was eating. When you're a student, like especially with architecture, there's no room at all to have a social life. So I wasn't really eating I was eating, but I wasn't really eating as much as I could, because I was always in that architecture building trying to stay up at night, trying to finish this model or trying to finish this poster for. And so that's how I got an A. But so fast forward into so the episode, so I started losing a little bit weight. And nothing really bad happened, but that's when I got really sick, and so I went to the doctor, gave me some antibiotics, and I was fine. So after that, so fast forward into about that summer, it started getting a little bit more repetitious, and then fall of 2016, I remember that's when it was my third year in architecture school. So I used to get cramps really, really bad during the time that we had to do we're working on this bullet train station competition. We would come in the middle of the night in the architecture building trying to do some work. And I remember I would have like cramps, like it would probably be like every 2 days or every other day. And I would just sit there just holding it, and then it would go away. So it kind of escalated a little bit more during that time. But like I said, I was just fighting it off, because I'm a workaholic and I really wanted to win. So during that time, I had stomach problems, and I wasn't throwing up, was I throwing up? I think I threw up like a couple of times, probably like 2 times, around maybe 3 at the most during that semester. But I thought it was bad food, acid reflux. That's why I keep blaming it. And so, so during that time, my fall of 2016, how old was I during that time? I was around, because I'm 21 now, so that was 2 years ago. So, I was like 19. I was 19 by turning 20. And, so fast forward 2017, that's when things really escalated. And like I said, I was getting little cramps here and there every other day. I was still having the same diet. I was eating anything I want, nothing wrong. And that's when finally it was like April. That's when I got my car, and that's when I had to start working at Kroger. And me and my friend, we went to Five Guys, and I remember eating the burger, and then the next day I was so sick to my stomach. I ended up throwing up. It was ridiculous. I ended up throwing up so hard. My stomach was just not in the best mood. I was not in the best mood. And I called my friend. She was like, oh yeah, because I think they gave us food poisoning. So we blamed Five Guys. I was thinking, okay, I got food poisoning. You got food poisoning? Okay, something must be wrong with the burger. They must be unsanitary or something. I don't know. So fast forward to then, after that, I felt fine after a couple of days. I threw up really, really bad, and then everything was good. So fast forward to when it was after the semester was over, and that's when I started living with my cousin at the time. And then my mom, I remember when I went back after the semester, she was like, "You're losing a lot of weight." And like I said, I'm thinking it's because I'm not eating a lot. Because at the end of the semester, that's when it's really crush time. And so I'm thinking, oh, it's because I'm not eating a lot. That's the reason why. But I noticed it too because I wasn't eating as much. I would eat like some cereal for the whole day, and that'll be it. I'll eat probably, because I used to eat the grilled chicken that we used to cook at Kroger, because I used to work in the deli department. And I'd eat like a couple of pieces, maybe some rice, and I'll be fine. And that's it. And prior to that, that's all I really would eat. Like, I noticed that, because I remember in the beginning of the year, I would eat like probably like twice a day, like full meals, but then it decreased to that around that time of the end of the semester. So it was like summertime of 2017. That's when it just went down to probably a couple like pieces of chicken, just like a bowl of like rice or something. That was it. But yeah, anyway, yeah, it escalated to just, it really went down. So did my weight, and you can see it in my face and stuff. And so they were a little bit concerned because that's when I had to live with my cousin at that time during that summer. And it was pretty nice. All I did was just worked. I did my 40 hours in the beginning of the summer. It was around June, and yeah, I would work my 40 hours during the week, and but I remember I would just come home, just go to sleep. And it was because I didn't have energy. I wasn't eating a lot. And then every time I did eat, it felt like it was going so slow. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't processing as fast as I know it's supposed to. And then sometimes I would throw up a little bit. I probably threw up like 3 times during that month. So it wasn't, it wasn't no blood or anything. So I was like, okay, what's going on? Something is wrong. Maybe it's the acid reflux still. And so I kept trying to figure out like what was wrong with me, until the point to where it was, because at the end of June was when I was going to start my internship in Austin. And so, like I said, so during March, April, May into June, that's when I worked at Kroger, and then I had a week off where I quit Kroger. I quit Kroger so I can go into Austin and do my internship. And so, yeah, as it died down to the end of June towards I'm supposed to go to have my internship, that's when I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I had fatigue. I would just come home crying because the pain was just so bad. I couldn't take it. I would just be listening TBN all day because I was like, Lord, really don't help me, because I knew something was wrong, but I could not figure it out. So that's when I finally called my stepdad, and we went to the hospital, and he was like, I'm gonna have to take you to the medical center because they're gonna have to figure out what's wrong with you. Because if you go to because you want to get to the root of the problem. And he was like, we're just gonna have to figure out what's the problem, because it's not working for you. So that's when we finally went to the medical center. They got everything done. I sat in there for a couple of days. They got through with the colonoscopy. They went through my mouth and they went through my behind. And they checked out everything within the time. Thank God they released me the Saturday before the Sunday I had to drive out into Austin, because that following Monday was my first day of working in Austin. Mind you, I've never been to Austin before at this point. And I'm going to start my internship. It's an 8-week internship from June to August. And so, yeah. So, but yeah, when I was still in the hospital, after when they did the colonoscopy from the front and from the behind, they did find some inflammation in my lower intestines, and they were still taking some more tests to figure out what's wrong with me. So they said they were going to call me in about a week or two to finally give me the final diagnosis on what's the problem, if I have Crohn's disease or not. Because he kept asking me, does Crohn's run in your family? Has anyone you known had it? Because it really doesn't affect African Americans as much, I want to say. But it's quite common for it to come from a relative. Then it's like a genetic type of thing. It's more of like a genetic type thing, he kept telling me. But no, nobody in my family had it, so I was like, I don't think I have it. I don't know what's the problem, but I don't think I have it. Mind you, he called, but they did prescribe me some antibiotics, a couple of other medicines to keep me sustained for the first couple of weeks, for like a week or two, and some antibiotics and stuff. So, and then some, just medicines to like fight off the inflammation a little bit too as well. And then he also gave me a prescription for prednisone just in case, like I said, if I had Crohn's, because at this point I don't know. And he said he's gonna get with me like in about 1 to 2 weeks. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm good, I'm fine at the hospital, I can eat everything I'm wrong. Oh, everything's good. No. He calls me 2 weeks later while I was in Austin, and he says, yeah, the test come back positive for Crohn's. I said, you sure? Yes, I'm sure. I said, well, did you go back? Can you go back a little bit more? Are you sure? Okay, but I was like, okay, he's a doctor. Well, he went to school for this. You gotta just believe him. So, move on. So, yeah, it turns out I was positive for Crohn's. So, yay. So, I think it was in the middle of June, that's when I got diagnosed for Crohn's. So, he said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put you on prednisone and we're gonna work our way up into Remicade. So you're gonna be on prednisone for my duration of time until I leave from Austin. So until August. So it was like 8 weeks that I was on the prednisone. And then you're gonna start on the Remicade, and then you're gonna go from 2 weeks of Remicade, then you're gonna go to 4 weeks of getting Remicade, and then you're gonna go to 6 weeks, and then it's gonna go into 8 weeks, and every 8 weeks, then after that, from then on, then you're gonna do the Remicade. And the Remicade is just a medicine. It's quite normal for people that for Crohn's that have it. It is It's a biological agent, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know when that tests you for it, and most people with Crohn's, or I think it's for psoriasis too, I could be wrong. But a lot of people take it for inflammation and to keep it down. Yeah. So I'm in Austin and I'm on the prednisone, and then I'm feeling good, I'm okay, everything's good. Except every time I notice, I forgot one thing. With the prednisone, I would also go down. So each week I would go down, start me off at 40, and then about each week I would go down 5 milligrams, if that makes sense. So I'll start off with 40 milligrams, then the next week will be 35, then 30, then 25, then 20, and so on and so on. And so, but I did notice that every time I stepped down, I would get a little bit sick, if that makes sense. Because by the 3rd week, I remember when I stepped down by 5 milligrams, that's when I threw up. And then like another 2 weeks when I stepped down, I threw up. And that next week, I would throw up. So it kind of like accumulated the more I went down. But, so I kept thinking it was the stuff I ate, because at this point, that's when I started learning what Crohn's is. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what this is. What is in my body? Why do I have it? Who did I get it from? Like, so I'm watching all these videos, and some of them say, you should try this medicine, you should try this diet, you should try this water, you should try praying, like all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, well, maybe it's my diet. So at this point, I try to eat a little bit healthier. I can't give up that much. So I like to eat. So, because I remember I had like this Chinese food. I remember it was really, really greasy, and I was thinking, oh, maybe that made me throw up. And then I remember during my internship, we traveled to Waco, and we had barbecue there. So I'm like, well, maybe that made me throw up. I don't know. But, and during that time, that's when I got, when I finally got a GI doctor. the guy who told me I had Crohn's, and I finally went back to him during July of that time of 2017 when I had my internship. And yeah, so that's when I finally talked to him about it. And he was like, well, diet doesn't affect it, and this and that. I'm like, are you sure? But so I'm listening to him. So okay, diet doesn't affect it. It's just the way my body works, and there's some things that triggers more than others. And that's what I kind of got the vibe from the videos as well too, that I found on YouTube. So and some of the things I was reading as well that said that too. So so yeah, I'm on the prednisone, everything is fine, and then that's when I got down to about like 10 milligrams. That's when it started getting a little shaky, because I was fine, I was gaining weight, I had my family reunion around that time, I was eating anything I want, everything was good. And late August, that's around the time that Harvey hit. And that's around the time I got my first infusion, like right before Harvey. And I was on the prednisone as well still, because they say that the Remicade, it takes a little bit of time for the Remicade to kind of work in your body after you take it. And if you don't know with the Remicade, you have to sit there for about 2.5 to 3 hours. And so, and it's an infusion, and yeah, it would take a long time. So you just sit there, and everything went fine. And so, yeah, I was just to take the prednisone, and then get a little bit shaky around that time. I noticed I was getting a little bit fatter in my stomach, and yeah. But this was part 1 of my Crohn's disease story, and part 2 will be coming out really, really soon. Next post. And please comment, like, subscribe, just tell me a little bit about what you've been going through, and just let me know how you get through Crohn's and when were you diagnosed with it. So just leave a comment below, and please subscribe for more. For more that's coming. So stay tuned, stay relevant, stay present, and thank you. Have a good day.